Right. Okay. We're on the radio and starting record. There we go. Welcome to Shooting the Shit episode 181, where we've got an old co-host back. So he's not been on this show for fucking years because he tried to be a smart arse. It's Johnny Fox. Johnny Fox is back because he's going to be a good boy and shill his book. That's basically why he's here. He's going to shill a book. But first, we're going to do some of the pish that I've got lined up and stuff, and then he can shill the book later. I think it would be the best way to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never known what I'm doing, but I think that's the way we should do it. Because otherwise, what was the point in me getting articles for today? And anyway, I like talking about games, so I've got games to talk about, and I think we should talk about that since basically we're a game type radio station. So we'll do that. And I like talking about games. So today, right, know what I done? First time I played a VR game for a wee while now was about 2 weeks. I've not played a VR game for about 2 weeks, right? And on the Steam sale, there's a military simulation game. It's, how would you explain it? It's not COD. It's more of a sim, so you have to like proper like lurk about and all that. Like actually, I think it's. Have you heard of a game called Squad?
I think I've heard of it on Steam. I just never got it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's basically like Squad but in VR. So you have to really communicate with your team and let everyone know where you're going. So put the headset on, jumped in, doing the tutorial, right? As you do. Done that, like, alright. I'll take on some AI bots as you do before you go into a multiplayer game, just to get used to the controls and mess about, right? So I'm wandering about, got a sniper rifle, like try it out, see what it's like. And I'm like, looking about, sniper rifle, standing up, just and like, oh, how do I crouch? Kept going through my head, and it was like, oh shit, there's guys, and I was like, and I was getting hit and shit. It was fucking like in VR, right? This is a thing about VR. You panic more, right? It's just a thing. When you run out of ammo, you've got to grab it from your hip and stuff, but your brain doesn't. It's weird. It's like you're panicking more because you actually feel like you're getting shot at worse. It's weird. Anyway, so that's happening, and I'm like, where's the crouch button? And hitting all the buttons and twisting the controllers, and just fucking my brain's like confused and doesn't know what it's doing, and I die. And like the second the death screen comes up and it goes to the lobby, I'm like, what do you mean where's the button? It's VR, you just duck. There is no duck button. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm fucking retarded. Like, of course, you're in VR, you just duck. I was like so disappointed in myself. I was like,
yeah, I don't fuck with VR because one, the headsets are probably very uncomfortable for someone with glasses.
They're actually not, seemingly.
And it costs like $500 or whatever for an Oculus Rift. I'm just not doing that.
That's the one I done last year-ish because I'd saved up for a graphics card, and then the graphics cards just skyrocketed, and I was like, nah, I'm not paying that for that. What else could I get that's pretty cool? And I was thinking, maybe the VR thing. So maybe try that out. So maybe be cool for like car games and stuff. And it was like, yeah,
I'm
you know what? Yeah,
I'm
do
still
it.
rocking that old 7950, which I think is an RX 280 or something, as the new equivalent. Man, if it would stop fucking overheating, I'd actually play something. Is a big problem. I have this Ryzen system with the whatever it is, the R7 1700 or whatever the hell it's called, the real nice one, and
Oh, the
everything's
same as me. You got the same one as me.
what, the 280.
No, the same CPU and shit. The Ryzen
Yeah, I
7
got all that.
1600.
My problem is the GPU is a piece of shit with that
Get-
heatsink. I gotta take it off like every fucking
Just get a new
just
GPU,
every
man.
6 months. I gotta take off the cooler and do all that shit to repaste it and just
Get a new cooler, get an aftermarket cooler, or get a new GPU. Like, I
I'm
know
probably
I'm
gonna
saying
end up
that,
having to do that shit.
but like a new GPU right now that would, even a 970 would do you. Just get a
Yeah, I was
second-hand
thinking about getting
970,
some
man.
type of GTX this time. It's just fucking Bitcoin miners have made them like twice the price of what they should be.
970 isn't that? A second-hand 970 shouldn't be that much, man. Like, honestly. And right now there's a big crash. Nvidia have got, I think it was 300. I think it was 32,000 GPUs sent back to them recently in a big shipment because the OEMs couldn't sell them, so Nvidia has got a lot of GPUs lying around. I don't know how long it's going to take them to for that to actually hit the market, but there's a lot. Just keep an eye out because they're going to come down like fuck. And also Nvidia are going to release new GPUs soon, September-ish. November, September, there should be new Nvidia GPUs coming out. So, yeah, like a 1060 would be better than what you've got. So, if you can get like a 970 or a 1060 or like even up from that, anything would there's actually, to be fair, your graphics card is getting old. So, meh. Because I'm trying to replace my 390. It's an R9 390, which isn't a bad card. It's just, it's getting a bit on, and I can't hit high settings, and some VR games are a bit meh. So I just want a bit more oomph on the graphics card department. So
Yeah, you should feel bad for me. The highest thing I can play right now is Turok 2.
yeah, man, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Anything would beat that. Like, the Intel inbuilt graphics cards can play Overwatch, for fuck's sake. I'm just
I didn't
saying.
know that.
Yeah, no, they can in
I
medium
thought
settings.
Overwatch was pretty demanding.
It's not, man. It's not at all. Overwatch is not demanding at all. There's the Intel on-built Intel GPUs can play it on medium settings at 1080.
I remember when I was rocking a i7 2600 from 2011 or 12, whenever that was, and I got it because I was working at a retail place, and I got it for like $134. So it was like $200 off because you had to watch all these stupid videos and propaganda about, oh, this is how you sell the thing, blah blah blah, get points, and then you got like $100 discount or something. And I did that, and I've used that system forever until the cooler broke off to the point where I just could not do shit with it and all that nonsense, and I just got tired of it, so I went and built this new one. And the GPUs, I was going to get a new one, but they were just so fucking sky high because of Bitcoin miners.
Exactly.
I just threw it out. I was like, I'm not paying $600 for a $200 car. You can kiss my ass.
Exactly. That's the way I felt, man. Did we cover this? I don't know. I don't think I'll cover it. I mean, it's just Naughty Dog getting thingied for their retardedness. It's stupid. July 3rd. No, we haven't okay, we'll cover this then. We'll do this. Why is this not coming up on the screen? Oh, that's why. There we go. Okay. So, first subject we're going to talk about. Well, you've just explained why I went and got the Oculus at the time. Now I've saved up enough for a new one, and I'm waiting. I'm just sitting there waiting. I've got the money. I don't touch it. Like, if the money goes below a certain amount, I'm like, no, that's my graphics card money. That's not money. Like, that's not spending money, right? So when it goes down, I just zero that out. So that's my 0 point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, that's the way I think. So I've got about 300 saved up, and as soon as my bank account goes to that, I spend nothing, because it's like, that's zero. That's the zero baseline. Because that's about how much I want to spend roughly. And I'm waiting for them to come down a wee bit so I can just go, yes. But I'm not paying 500 quid for a card that should cost 3. That's ridiculous. They could suck my dick. Right. So Naughty Dog's it says Naughty Dog's SJW agenda, but this website is always anti-SJW and shit. Right, sometimes, like, I agree with them, but sometimes they do a bit overboard and stuff. So, but I do like the site, I do like the writing and the way it works, but sometimes I think it goes too far. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I use it all the time because it's one of my favourite sites to read. Anyway, a verified YouTuber, Robin Gaming, has been a big fan and supporter of Naughty Dog over the years. I guess you know who Naughty Dog are, right? It's the guys that made The Last of Us and
Crash Bandicoot and
Crash Bandicoot was their first game, yeah.
Then what else was it? Jack and Daxter, and I think they also maybe did Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, possibly, I think. But they've done, what's the other one they've done lately as well? A lot. Oh, the Indiana Jonesy one. It's big on the PlayStations.
No, I was wrong, because Ratchet and Clank is actually Insomniac Games.
Oh, okay, so not even what did they do? Uncharted, that's the one. That's the one I'm thinking of. Uncharted. They done Uncharted. They done The Last of Us. So I think this is about The Last of Us 2. I think that's our newest game. Has been a big supporter of Naughty Dog over the years, but he's had enough. While he tried to ignore the slow-growing tumour of social justice masquerading within Naughty Dog's culture, he eventually reached a breaking point where he had to call out the company's SJW agenda. In a video published on the July 1st, titled Naughty Dog Agenda, An Honest Open Conversation, Robin methodically goes through the evidence of Naughty Dog's descent into the cult of social justice warriors. Hang on, I'll put this in the Discord chat so you know what I'm talking about. It's so you can pull it up to.
Alright, let me see.
The video was 20 minutes long, laced with clips, evidence, tweets and testimonials from various Naughty Dog staff members and employees who have adopted the very static activism that has fractured the video gaming industry. He starts off with the video by going over the history of Naughty Dog and how much he loves their games. He notes that Amy Henging left the company he notes that after Amy Henging left the company, he began to see signs of Naughty Dog adopting the SJW agenda, slowly but surely, under Neil Druckmann's leadership. While Druckmann has repeatedly praised feminist frequency and openly admitted to changing the ending of Uncharted 4 from Nathan Drake having a son to Nathan Drake having a daughter, so that if the series continues it would likely be a female that takes over and not a male, after watching Anita Sarkeesian's videos, it wasn't enough to entirely convince Robin. Do you know what? Just make it a fucking Tomb Raider game, mate. Why not just make it Tomb Raider?
Exactly, at that point, yeah.
Like...
But then she'll bitch about Lara Croft having giant tits and blah, 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 blah.
But she doesn't anymore.
I don't understand this because me and you were both in GG. You were a lot in there longer and all. And I remember my few clashes I've had with Anita where her and her fuckers over in Crash Override Network would talk shit about me. Apparently, I heard that from Ian Miles Chong. And then,
yeah, she's a con artist though. That's her.
Yeah,
problem.
and like, well, I don't know if Anita was in there, but I know Zoe and all them bitched about me.
No,
but the point is,
yeah, Zoe was definitely in there.
Yeah, and I've had a few run-ins with her, and now that she has like what, over 100, like 200,000 or 300,000 subs, she gets 1,300 views.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell does anyone listen to this bitch anymore?
No one does. No one does unless they've got an agenda. It's weird.
Out of all the people you could actually say that person influenced me, that's probably the one you shouldn't pick.
Totally
I'm sure that some other SJW people actually remember that you could bring up.
Oh no, I could bring up thousands. There's loads. But the thing is, right? If it comes out that this guy, what was his name? Darkman, right? If it ever comes out that Darkman's been fucking raping and fucking feeling up and doing sexist things to the staff, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Because we've got, I think there's like 36. My last count was 36 feminists, anti-Gamergate males have all been convicted of some type of sexual harassment. 36. Just think about that for a second, right? 36. How many Gamergate ones have been even arrested? I would say about like 5. If that, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's always these ones. The Gamergate was just full of normal people. This seems to be like a thing with male feminists that they like to. Oh, I'm a feminist, so they get all the pussy around them, and then they start fucking feeling them all up and shit. It's weird.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, feminists, most of them are gonna, call you out for some type of sexual harassment. One thing, it's gaming related, and I can't really say if it's true or not, but I don't know if you've read about this yet. Did you ever hear about Jew Wario actually being like a fucking rapist?
Don't know who that is, but I probably did.
He's the guy that used to do that guy with the glasses. He did like a gaming review show. He was wore like the Wario hat and shit.
Yep. Yeah,
now, I don't want to get sued, but there's a lot of evidence that he actually was like feeling up and fingering a fucking drunk chick that passed out in some room.
Yeah, man. No, but they all do that. This is what's weird, right? All the male feminists and go, oh, Gamergate's misogyny and all that. Like, a lot of the journalists as well have been caught doing that exact same shit. There's been 36 of them.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of them go in there just for that blue-haired pussy anyway,
Exactly, but it's weird though. It's like every time another one comes up, I always ask the narwhal. I'm always like, now unvarnished. If I started calling myself a male feminist, would you trust me? And she's like, fuck no, get out my face. Because she knows, because we've basically every single one we've reported on it, and like going through the stories and shit and the accusations and the court cases and that, and she's like, look, I would rather be like with a bunch of you fucking dickheads than go near a male feminist, because I know that fucker's gonna rape me. So yeah, that's what she says. She's like, nah, fuck that.
I don't understand why you would want to even fuck a feminist. They're all about like the what do you call, open relationships and open sex and free love and all that bullshit. You're gonna catch something if you put your dick in a feminist.
Look, I'm all for free love and all that shit, but at least wear protection. Know what I'm saying? Like that's fine. Imagine
if I put my dick in Zoe Quinn, even with the condom, it'll probably melt off from the acid in her pussy.
I'm not talking about the ones. I don't know, man. Like, just get. I don't know. I like to get to know a girl at least a wee bit before any of that shenanigans. Because
I'm the complete opposite. I just meet them on the first night, fuck them, and they leave.
yeah, that's why that's why you're gonna get the condom melting. I'm just saying. At least get to know them a bit.
I'm surprised it hasn't yet.
You're lucky. You're just being lucky, man. You're also lucky she hasn't pierced the fucking the condom or whatever, and then got herself pregnant, and then basically fucking fucked you for life. So that's another one. You gotta watch that shit, man. That's why I wouldn't do that.
No, man. I always pull out. I always make sure to pull out before that shit even gets that far.
If you're drunk enough, man. I would
I'm drunk enough, man. Ain't nothing gonna fucking happen down there.
Well, that's true as well, but I have been fucking. Yeah. Anyway, like most fans, at first Robin was somewhat in denial, but it steadily built up with the comments made on social media by Naughty Dog staff, frequently anti-white and anti-hetero. Why? They're always like this. Statements made by the developers and the explosively controversial video Last of Us 2 at E3 this year really helps seal the deal. First, Robin goes through Naughty Dog's consistency, reinforcing the notion that Nadine and Chloe's relationship from Uncharted is more than platonic, as pointed out by someone. Nadine and Chloe's... can you continue where I've left off here? So I need to go for a pee. Have you got the article up?
I was trying to get it up, but I keep getting a database error.
Shit. Okay. Well, just entertain, and I'll be back in a second. This is why I need a co-host, and the co-host that was supposed to turn up hasn't turned up yet. He did say it'd be after 10, so...
Yeah, let's see. I think it says usually, I'm trying to load it, but I think it keeps saying failure to establish database, which is a server-side error on them. I've gotten it quite a number of times on mine, and then I have to get on the chat and say, hey, what the fuck, and just on and on and on. That wasn't good. Yeah, I just heard of, like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Dude, I think that thing blew my damn TV speakers. Holy shit. Luckily it didn't blow the rest of the thing, but yeah, I can't hear a damn thing. Hold on.
Okay, back. Okay, I'm back. Did you just... What the hell? Did he just leave as well? Fuck's sake. What did he do? Oh, right,
Dude,
anyway.
this loud kaboom just went off, and all of a sudden something sparked on my fucking entertainment center.
Oh, shit.
It was one of the. It's like thunder in here as well.
Ah,
But
okay.
it just all of a sudden I heard this giant kaboom, and something sounded like it sparked.
Oh, I was away for a pee, so basically that was a silent 5 minutes on the radio. Great. Brilliant. I could have just put on a video or something.
Luckily, I didn't have my headphones on because I would have probably blew my head up.
So
That shit was fucking loud.
the relationship with these two, blah blah blah, has been canon, anything more than friends. However, the institution of them being romantically involved across Naughty Dog's social media accounts has more than enough to set off Robin's red flags. This was blah 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 blah. Right, we all know this. Basically, she's a lesbian, blah 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 blah, and then they're like, oh my god, they're kissing at E3 and stuff. Right, but that's whatever, man. Like, I don't really care because I'm not into Uncharted. But yeah, that's basically what's happened to them. They went all SJW and shit. What other thing I've got?
Hello.
Yo, how you doing?
It's fucking unbelievable. I was using the USB thing last week, right?
Yep.
And now this week I don't need it. It's like that was a waste of fucking time me trying to set it up.
Yeah.
So fuck knows what the hell happened there.
Yeah.
So it's being a random bitch. Basically.
Yeah, of course. Computers, man. Like, what more do you need to me to say? Anyway, here's the co-host that was meant to be here earlier, but wasn't. So.
Mr. Pierce.
No.
Yeah.
You. Mr. Pierce is the ex Johnny Fox co-host that we used to have on.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Don't be like that to him. He's a dick. He got
Do
banned.
what?
He got banned.
He got banned. Well, why is he here then?
No, because he's got a new book and he promised he would behave like a good boy.
But is he a good boy?
He has been a decent co-host so far, because he did take your job away from you at this precise moment. Because he was the only one here. So no, we get on.
Leave then. It's fine.
We do get on, and he can't fuck this one up because we're not on Google Hangouts. So see, that's why he got
Google.
banned.
It's all Google's fault, basically.
Well, he gave away the Google Hangout to everyone, and so we
That
got in
was like one
trolls.
time,
We got
like
in
3 years ago.
Yeah, and that's why you got banned.
Look,
3 whole years ago.
Yeah, look, man, I told you not to fucking do it. You went and done it. You get a ban. That's it.
you act like a hillbilly, you get treated like a hillbilly.
Exactly. See, he knows. Anyway, so the next one is, this is a shit show. It's actually going on pretty much right now. I can't find many websites reporting on it right now. But there's a lot on this one. Okay, so this has actually been updated. Okay, this person works for ArenaNet, Guild Wars 2 narrative team. I can't see her posts, but basically it's Jessica Pierce, I think is her name, who works and writes for, works for ArenaNet and writes for Guild Wars 2. Then there's two things that happen here, right? One, at one point, she said something about Total Biscuit and stuff, right? That she was glad that he fucking died and all that pish, right? Which is fucking awful. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't say that. Don't. say that if you're working in the video game industry. Don't come out and say that, because it just makes you sound like a bitter prick because you reviewed your game shitty or because you don't like criticism, right? It just, like, I don't understand. Oh, I'm glad he died to cancer. Shut up, you fucking prick. Like, just hold your fucking tongue. You know what I mean? It's just sad. Anyway, so this is what happened, right? She went on a tirade. I think she's deleted all the tweets. She's deleted all the tweets now. But she posted something that was saying something about MMOs and how they were hard to write for and stuff. There's a thread. I'm pretty sure people could find it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about if they're into this stuff. But anyway, there's a thread about her saying it's really hard to get a story into a MMORPG because you can't change the world that much, because everyone has to go into the same place and everyone has to have the same things and stuff like that, right? And a guy that basically, this guy D-Roar is really quite a popular guy in the Guild Wars 2 community, right? And he replies to her saying, it's really interesting to read the thread. However, allow me to disagree slightly. I don't believe the issue lies in the MMORPG genre itself, as your wording seemingly suggests. I believe this issue lies in the constraints of the living story's narrative design. When you want the outcome to be the same across the board for all players' experiences, then yes, by design, you're extremely limited in how you can construct the personality of the PC player character. But if instead players were given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which also aren't just on the checklist for an achievement that forces you through all dialogue options, 3 out of 4, because I count seemingly, then perhaps players would be more interested in the role-playing aspect of that particular MMORPG. Nonetheless, I appreciate the insightful thread. End. Tweet unavailable. That's because she's blocked me on Twitter, and I think she might have deleted him. I don't know, but she basically gets mad at the guy and tells him not to fucking mansplain to her and blah blah blah. Right? Now, I don't see. Do any of you guys find any of what he said disrespectful?
No.
Right. Okay. She does.
In a word, very simple words.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
she's obviously fucking. Look, you're going to come up against criticism in work. And this is not even criticism, right? This is just saying, oh, well, look, if you write, these are the consequences of how you structure a narrative to try to fit into a particular genre of game. Right? If you're trying to make an MMO where everybody has the freedom to do whatever, right, you can't have a cohesive story everybody shares, because it's just too fucking messy.
Can you check?
If you go the other way, you have.
Dude, can you check what mic you're using? Because it sounds fucking awful.
Speak again.
I can hear you, but it sounds really bad.
How bad?
Really bad.
In what sense bad?
Now it sounds a bit better. It just sounds tinny as fuck. It's like you're on a phone.
Well, the bandwidth just apparently went for some reason.
There you go. You sound better now.
Discord. Yeah, Discord had just showed the bandwidth just fucking disappeared for some reason.
You sounded like you were on some type of shitty phone.
That would be why.
Okay, here we go. That's fine now. Yeah, but do you find any of what he just said?
No, basically he's just saying, look, yeah, if you design a game this way, these are the consequences. You do it this way, these are the problems. So you can't do both. You can't both have a story that everybody's involved in, and also have every individual person choose their own paths. That's what we call life, and I don't think you can really program that coherently into a game.
No, well, what he's saying is though, he says he thinks you can. That's no, but he's saying
that's not what I heard. What I heard is he's saying that if you want to have X, then Y are the consequences.
Sort of, right? But that's
saying, look, you can't have this because this other thing that you also want is conflicting with it. That's all it comes down to. You want to achieve this goal and you want to achieve this goal. Problem is, those two goals are in conflict with each other.
Yeah, but I think that's what she was saying. But he's saying, but instead, players are given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which could be possible. Like, okay, I know what he's trying to say. I think he's missed it, but what he's trying to say is, what you could do, right, is, you could instance, say, the player's town, or you could instance a certain aspect of the MMO, right? You don't have to instance the whole world, but what you could do is you could have an instance of, I don't know, like say the player's town or player's house, and then you could bring your mates in, and then because it's an instance, you would bring your mates in, and then you could show them your house and stuff, and that could reflect your choices in the game. Like, if you wanted to, you could easily do that. I think that's what he's trying to say. What she was trying to say is exactly what you were saying. And he's saying, I respectively sort of disagree slightly, because you could do it. You could do it. But you would have to have, like, the instance of that place would have to be instanced.
I don't see why either of these are impossible. It's just a question of what you're trying to achieve. I'm not sure I quite follow them.
Well, for MMORPG, right, usually it's the world, everyone gets it, right, but
yes, also it's a shared, like, doing all the guild fights, and, like, I don't know if anybody cares whether, like dialogue options and stuff, but as far as I understand, that's not really the point. You're not trying to play an RPG like Fallout. It's about more. You go on quests, you fucking do something with other players.
Right.
Then you interact with them randomly in a marketplace, you find some random shit, you trade it, or whatever. Like there's different things going on.
Right.
It's not so much about a cohesive narrative, it's more you live in a world, things happen, and it's like if you lived in Middle Earth and things were going on all the time, like, oh, you're in between the period of, like, when fucking Sauron had his rings cut off, and before everyone went to Mount Doom, and there's all this other shit going on. There's all this stuff that you can sort out, or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't play these games, so I don't know.
Right. No. But anyway, right. That's basically what he said. Sounds like okay. He had a little thing, and she basically said, "I don't you doing this and stuff, right?" Which is unavailable. I can't see the tweet, but if you want to look for it, feel free.
Nobody has to do anything, but I don't.
Actually, I've got it here. I've actually got it here. Who is she? Like the next rando asshat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me as if, having worked in game narrative for a fucking decade, I have never heard of it, is getting insta-blocked. Right, that's her reply. So the place where that says tweet available, she says that to the guy. It's like, holy shit.
Honestly, the only MMO I ever fucked with was probably Rift and Perfect World International way the fuck back in like 2009.
Right. Well, I used to play Guild Wars, and I have Guild Wars 2 because I loved Guild Wars, the first one. Guild Wars 2 isn't as good, and I just stopped playing it after a while. I never even completed it.
on a more general aspect, like anybody who really loves what they're doing.
Now, Guild Wars was really instanced, but it didn't have a reason to be instanced. There was no clear thingy or anything like that.
But this isn't really about like what a game is like. This is about a person not being able to basically converse with other human beings. It's just like, oh yeah, she could say don't mansplain to me, or she could just say, oh, yeah, I know that, we've decided to do that. It's like or like engage with it, right? Because most people like
remember
I know all kinds of shit about programming, but it doesn't mean if a child comes up to me and asks me if I was doing like a community outreach thing, and I was like, oh, going to local schools, talk to them about technology and so on.
Exactly.
I don't want to have a kid come up to me and go, oh, what if you did that? And I go, shut up, you stupid child. I know what I'm talking about. You don't. You listen to me. It'd be like you want to encourage that curiosity. It's like,
exactly.
Oh, actually, yes, I am a professional. So let's have a discussion, and maybe I can educate you. Right? That's a much more productive way of doing it. Not like, shut up, you peasants, which is how it comes off, right?
Which is exactly what she just did. And remember, this guy that she's talking to, right, loves this game. He's a major YouTuber guy for Guild Wars 2, right? Anything you want to know about Guild Wars 2, ask that guy. He's very popular. He's big part of the community, all that shit, right? And her reply to him is, "You're an asshat. You're explaining the concept of branched dialogue to me, as if I don't know, having worked in the game narrative for a fucking decade." Like, what type of reply is that to what the guy just said?
Well, for one, I think about any other industry, if somebody had replied to that, one would be fired for it being a PR disaster. Right?
Well, guess
unprofessional.
Guess what happened?
What? She got fired?
Yep.
No?
And
well,
so
good.
did, and guess what?
What?
There was another guy from the same dev team that jumped into White Knighter. Guess what happened to him?
And he got fired.
Yep. The two of them basically.
Which is what you do. It's like, look, the developer, right?
I know.
I know this. If you're allowed to interact with the people who buy your products, if you're allowed to, that's luxury, right?
Yeah.
Then there's certain levels of expectation for how you behave. You don't tell them they're pieces of shit, for one. That's like the most basic. You want to be presenting to the world, whether or not you think they're a piece of shit. Doesn't matter if you think they're a piece of shit. You don't act like you think they're a piece of shit.
Yeah. No, like, totally.
I mean, if you were talking about something else, like completely unrelated to the product, maybe, but it's like, if you are representative of your company, this is rule one. You don't badmouth the customers. That's just fucking retarded. They pay your wages effectively.
Totally, right. This is what I don't get about the Western games sort of industry thing. They think they can speak down to the people that pay their fucking salary, right? And there's no consequences. I'm quite happy ArenaNet done this, because I think they've done the right thing. Because I see nothing wrong with what this guy had said at all. He was just trying to. Okay, I'll go back to what he tweeted again.
Presumably, as you described, somebody's very enthusiastic. He's a sort of super fan. You should not be disparaging, but instead you should be encouraging, because he's the sort of person who's such a super fan, and he's bringing other people into the game.
Yep.
Right? He's doing marketing for you.
Yep.
He's not the person you fucking disparage. He's the person you.
He's your best fucking mate.
Hey, you're very popular. You love our game. How about we
have a discussion on this?
Shit.
Yeah, get me on your YouTube channel. We'll have a Google Hangout or whatever, right? And I'll explain to you why this is really hard.
This is how you do public relations. I don't do public relations. Even I know this, because it's fucking obvious.
Right.
That's
exactly.
how you do it.
Exactly.
Anybody with two brain cells to rub together knows that this is the right way to do it.
Right. So you remember her reply, if you remember what she said, right?
Yes.
So he replies, "You're getting mad at my obvious attempt at creating dialogue and discussion with you, instead of just replying that I'm wrong or otherwise correct me in my false assumptions. I really It's really just disheartening for me. You do you though. I'm sorry if I offended. I'll leave you to it.
I say he's a fucking pussy. I would have said, look, basically.
No, this is the thing though.
Completely uncalled for.
Yeah,
Completely
but this thing,
but
his reply for that, for that awful shit she just
she gave
said.
She gave him more shit, right?
He's more professional than he's more professional than she was. He's just like, I'm sorry if I offended you. I'll leave it. That's what you're supposed to say. That's because I would have went fucking off in one. Because I'm not. I would have fucking went mad at her. But he is just saying, I was just creating discussion. I was replying. Whatever. If I was wrong, correct me of my false assumptions. It's really just disheartening for me. Yeah, he's just gave up. He's just like, you know what, this cunt's a bitch.
What's the point? It's just somebody who's got a stick up her ass for whatever reason.
Right. Then someone else replies, I agree with her though. She didn't ask you for your opinion, and you came to her personal Twitter to unnecessarily dump your opinion onto her.
Twitter is not a personal thing. The whole purpose of Twitter, you fucking retards, is that literally anybody else on Twitter can come and fucking find your ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's the entire point of it. It's not fucking Facebook. It's not a private chat group. Fucking, you know, this infuriates me because it's like people go, oh, you can't just come in here and at me. And it's like, well, actually I can, and I just did, demonstrating the fact that this is actually a thing the platform allows you to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking unbelievably stupid person.
And if you want it private, there is a private tag on Twitter. You can actually have a private account.
You can make your account private. Yes, in which case you don't get the nice benefit of no random people talking to you. You also get rid of the one benefit of Twitter. It's just basically anybody can talk to anybody who's on the thing. That's the whole bloody point of the thing. If you don't like it, then just don't fucking use it. It's like if you just want to tweet stuff out and ignore it, just literally never read anything coming back. Just tweet something out. Have a bot do it. Apparently, Russia's very good at producing a bit en masse.
Okay,
I don't know.
I just read one of this. Okay, she did it. You call it unnecessarily dump your opinion to her and tell her how to do her job, how her job should be done. No, he didn't. He just slightly disagreed with her and said, "What have we done this?" That's all he done.
That's not even disagreement.
No, it's not. It's just saying, hey, why don't you do this? And she could have come back to him and said, well, this is why we don't do this.
Well, look, this is the thing, right? This is, if you're a software developer.
It's like me coming to you, right, and going, you saying something vague, and me saying, okay, I don't know much about the development thing of the software, but why can't you just go hit software, if this, then this, and you go, no, that's fucking retarded. Well, why you try to tell me to do my job?
You know what I would do? I would spend half an hour explaining it to you in excruciating detail.
I know exactly what you would do, and then I'd get all confused and go, okay then.
Yeah, basically. See, that's the other approach. It's just to actually explain until the other person goes a quite a headache.
Yeah, stop. Exactly. I would just be like, no, stop. It was just a suggestion, man. Stop. And you just keep going. And I'm like, no, look, okay, it's fine. Anyway, so basically tell her how her job should be done. He didn't say that. Not at any point did he say that. And then he says, do I go to your Twitter and tell you how to correctly make YouTube videos? Has this guy ever seen YouTube? All the time.
You literally could.
All the time.
You literally fucking can. How do these people live on the internet and not understand a fucking single thing about the most popular websites that exist?
Like, it happens all the time.
I don't understand.
If you go on YouTube, right, and you look at YouTube comments...
What planet do I live on? What fucking planet is this?
If you look at YouTube comments, right, it's all about that. It's like, why is your YouTube fucking channel shit? Why can't you do this? You're a dick. You fucking faggot. You do it. And then sometimes...
I thought about the guy saying, oh, I don't come onto YouTube. Well, you could come onto my YouTube channel and
exactly. It happens all the time.
That's kind of the point. That's kind of the fucking point. I can go to your Twitter because it's public and say, "Oh, hello, you're a cunt" or something, and then you can come back to me and say, "No, you're a cunt." I mean, it's not very productive, but it is possible.
The only reason he doesn't is because he doesn't know this guy. That's why do I go to your Twitter and tell you how to correctly make your YouTube videos? Well,
you could.
No, but you could.
You could. There's nothing stopping you. It's literally how it works.
Exactly.
It's literally the purpose of it.
Right, and then someone else is like...
free.
Someone else is I don't understand this logic. It's public Twitter. People make comments, respond all the time. They can choose not respond or respond. The point is that the medium of Twitter is irrelevant to the discussion. Just because it's public doesn't mean we shouldn't have rules, constraints. I don't jump into conversations in public whenever I feel like it, except under very, very circumstances.
Well, you can here. This is kind of the point. This is not a bunch of people on the street who you don't know and you're just jumping in and saying, blah, blah.
No, you're on Twitter. That's how Twitter works. It's how the internet's worked for generations.
This is the whole fucking point is, yes, if you want to interject, you fucking can. It's like, oh, there should be rules. It's like, well, if you want to have your own little fucking circle jerk, they're called direct messages.
Yeah, exactly.
They're called direct fucking messages. Have you not seen them? Fucking use them if that's all you want to do. There's solutions to all your problems. I'm sorry for explaining it. I happen to be a man, but I also happen to be
fuck off, you're a man.
Above amoeba intelligence, which means that I understand the things that are occurring on a website, which makes it very obvious that these are things that are occurring.
That you have to fuck off now. You're a man.
How can you even breathe? How do you?
I don't know.
If breathing wasn't an autonomous system, these people would literally die. They would just die. They wouldn't remember to breathe.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to end fucking YouTube now because we've been going on for a wee bit. But first, we will let. I want to get back to this topic, but we have to go on to the book just before I shut down YouTube. We have to get onto this book thing that Jack, or as I know him, Johnny Fox has got out. He's putting out a book. Do you want to sit and share the book for a bit?
Well, it's out now on Amazon, paperback, and Kindle. You can get both of those right now. The Audible version will be here in 2 weeks. That's not up to me. That is Audible having a 2-week fucking processing time.
Right, okay.
It's being read by Jack Palance. I'll definitely get it if it's read by Jack Palance.
It is available, pretty much all of them are available pretty much in every country, really. So if you're in the UK, the price will be different than it is in the US and on and on and on. It's pretty much in all the major markets at this point.
It'll be the same except for you swap a dollar sign for a pound sign. That's how they make the money.
Yeah, pretty much
how it works. But I'll tell you what, if you give me the details and send me a blurb and a link to whatever it is, I'll put up in the radio website thing and stuff later on.
Alright.
Just DM that shit to me and I'll put it up at some point, probably later tonight. As I'm putting up the show, I'll probably do that. It gives me enough time. But what's it about? Like, how will people get interested in it?
It has a lot of allegory in it, but the overall story is basically a guy that's a cop goes to his hometown to find out that it's a piece of shit still. There's a mass murder that happened there, and he has to solve the mystery, and then it turns into a bunch of other stuff and big adventure. Entire world is involved. World War III is about to happen. A lot of different stuff. 2 religious cults are in the Holy War.
Right, so is it like, I don't know, is it sci-fi, fantasy? What category would you...
If I had to explain it in one sentence, I would say Silent Hill meets Final Fantasy VII. Is the scope of the scope and largeness of Final Fantasy VII and a lot of characters along the way, but like the feeling of Silent Hill.
No,
I was thinking like a procedural cop drama meets Terminator by your initial description.
But it is very Silent Hill 2-ish.
Right, so you would say it's science fiction then?
I would say it's more horror mystery than anything, because it does have a lot of scary shit in it. It's very dark.
But I mean, Terminator is I would say sci-fi
Well,
horror, right?
The first one is definitely. The first one definitely is.
That's a horror movie.
Really
I would say the first
guns or there's like no aliens or ray guns or other planets or anything in this.
Right, but
it's grounded in reality as much as it can be.
But okay, so there's no robots and ray guns and shit, so it's not sci-fi then.
Yeah, it's pretty much horror mystery.
Fantasy.
Thriller.
Maybe some fantasy in there because Final Fantasy
there's
starfish.
There's a bit of fantasy in there. There's a lot of different characters. There's some magic in there. It's not overdone. It's not like someone casts a spell every 5 seconds, but there's a few different things. Like one character has precognition where they can see into the past, and one, it's a big fucking behemoth.
I would say that's sci-fi.
Everybody can see into the past. You don't see into the future.
Well, they can see into the past that they weren't there to witness it, is what I mean.
That's. I'm not sure there's a word for that. There probably is, but that's like narrative story pattern. I can see what other people are doing, that's not one that comes up a lot actually. I've only seen that like once or twice, so that's actually
interesting.
That's actually quite unique.
But there's also there's like 2 parallel worlds too going on at the same time. The second book in the series called Dreamer really is more into the other world, and this one's in like the normal world kind of thing.
So it's like sci-fi. That it definitely aspects of sci-fi horror.
Well, not really like another planet, but like an alternate plane. If you played Soul Reaver, you'll know what I mean. Like spectral realm, material realm. They're the same kind of.
You can look at given our recent discussion on RPGs, right? You could say it's the same thing as if you had 2 players playing the same RPG. They come up with different things, with different character stuff. Maybe those are 2 worlds that would make sense.
I'm trying to work out what category that would be in. I'm trying to think. Would that be sort of scientific-y, sci-fi, where you've got another dimension sort of
I think
thing?
You could say it's science fiction more if it focuses on the science. It'd be more science. That's just the rules of the world, and it's a stage, right? It's a fantastical stage. It's not necessarily normal reality, but if it's not integral to the story, it's not generally called science fiction. Like science fiction is something about this is the science, and this is how it impacts X, Y, and Z.
So it's
Whereas
fantasy.
It's just a thing that exists.
Fantasy horror or horror.
Yeah, it's like fantasy and horror is the best way to put it. Yeah.
That makes the most sense. Yes. There we go.
We've done it. There we go. It's fantasy horror, but
genre.
It sounds like there's a second one. Don't know what you did.
Yeah, the second one I'm working on now called Second Sight Dreamer.
So it's how many books are you? Is it a trilogy or is just
It's actually going to be a quadrilogy because you have Second Sight, The Decay, which is out now. Second Sight Dreamer, which I'm working on. Second Sight 2, The Fallen, which is actually a post-apocalypse thing. That comes out after Dreamer, and then so it's like the first book a prequel, the second the sequel, and then the sequel to the sequel. It's like Second Sight 3. I don't know what the name of it is.
Okay, right. As I go away for something, I don't think I've got another article, but we'll get back to the other one. Hang on, if I gives this Twitter to the chat here, well, our Discord thing, there's the chat that I had up for the Twitter thing, and we'll get back to this bitch with the Guild Wars thing. Now, she has been, our Twitter was, when TB died, she was tweeting out, oh, it's fantastic, and all that pish as well. So this is not the first time she's been a bit shit. Anyway, so say bye bye to YouTube, and we'll continue on the radio at aerithradio.co.uk. And yeah, so the both of you can say bye bye to the thing. Do you want to say bye bye to YouTube? Do you want to? I mean, you don't have to.
Fuck off. There we go.
There you
That'll
go.
do.
Fox, do you want to say anything to YouTube before we go?
Yeah, I'm not coming back to YouTube unless it's about the book.
There we
That's-
go.
I'm not
That's
making
a
any
tiny
more Psycho
baseball.
Circus. That shit takes too long.
Yeah.
Buy his fucking book.
Yeah, buy his book. Pieces of
Buy
shit.
his fucking book.
Right, so I'm right. Go to airfreeradio.uk for the rest of the show. That's me out. I'm going for a pee now.